Didn't mean to bounce out of camera angle. It is Monday, start of a new week. It's 1 o'clock, a little after one, and I just finished my second yoga practice for the day. Second one is a little longer. Um, the morning is, I've mentioned this all the time, it's based on sun salutation, few additional poses added on, but mainly it's a few rounds of sun salutation, and it's to get me moving, to get the blood flowing, it's to get the energy coursing through my body, and it's a true salutation, a true prayer to the new day, to the coming of the sun. Hence the name sun salutation, and I use it exactly for that purpose. Um, I follow that up again with a few other poses, and then I like to do shoulder stand. I don't do headstand, lots of reasons. Um, I never spent a whole lot of time learning how to do it, and I feel that I get all the benefits of that inversion from a shoulder stand, and I feel more stable, safer. So I stick with that, and I can stay there for a long period of time without worrying about balance or anything. Um, so my main morning practice is sun salutation, and I do that after I meditate. Some people recommend doing it before. I do my afternoon session before I meditate, so it balances out. But when I wake up, I take Deepak Chopra's advice, which is wake up, use the bathroom, meditate. So that's what I do. Um, I don't like anything to get in my head before I meditate first thing in the morning. I want my mind to just be, is the best way to say it. And so I don't want the internet on. I don't read. I don't put on music. I just want to get right to my meditation bench and start my day that way. It leaves me inspired. I'm ready to write, get my yoga done, have my 1 cup of coffee for the day as I'm writing. And meditation never fails to leave me wide open for whatever um, needs to be written for the day. And who knows what that'll be. It always comes to me. Today, um, it was actually about the mantra. I noticed that and this is after 30 years of meditating, but I noticed that when my meditation feels slightly unsettled, it's always due to striving to be in a certain spot of meditation, to reach that state of suspension of thought, to fall into the gap. And it shows that there are obstacles even to our meditation, our spiritual, our yogic approaches to life. If we cling to whatever goal, whatever sense of achievement that we would like, we're placing obstacles in the path. That's the whole main teaching of yoga. The eightfold path of yoga is letting go of hindrances. Maybe we'll Google that up in a minute. It's the hindrances, not just yoga, not just meditation, but we carry them over through life, or probably better said, our life carries over into our meditation and yoga practice. We take those hindrances. We think we're using yoga and we're using meditation as sort of a buffer between life, but we just give ourselves another label. I'm a meditator, I'm a yogi, I'm a spiritual person. Hence the whole, I'm spiritual, not religious. It's the same difference if you're applying it as a label. You're just giving yourself another label, and you're not going through the rigors of religious practices. Now, of course, there's the rigors of spiritual practices that you can jump into. And I certainly have, and I certainly do. I don't necessarily know any longer if I even consider it a spiritual thing. The word spiritual has fallen out of favor, especially in the non-duality community. I don't mind it. I use it because it's an apt description, because what I am exploring, what I am opening myself to more and more, is something more subtle than the material aspects of life. So it has to be called something in conversation when I'm talking to on YouTube. So let's call it spiritual. Unfortunately, though, it does have some negative connotations associated with it now. But we can dismiss that because you know better. I know better. Spiritual just means in spirit. It just means finer, more subtle than the material solidness of the earth. So my afternoon yoga session, that's more involved. It's between half an hour, 40 minutes. I don't do a ton. I know a lot of people who practice 1 or 2 hours in yoga a day, which is cool. And I have before, but I have a very specific asana practice now that I like to use to open myself up. I don't need it so much for the physical benefits of it. I got a full-blown workout regime. I am using that word, right? Regime. That I love to practice, that I do daily. Dive right in, no matter what it is, from ultra running to burpees to whatever the flavor of the decade is, I'm there. And ultra running was a decade long. However, there's tons of health benefits and fitness benefits to yoga, and I enjoy every single one of them. But that's not the main reason I practice yoga. I'm opening up my subtle body. I'm going into that finer aspect of physicality, to where the physical literally leaves off into the immaterial. That's the practice. Do I get there? Maybe. Maybe not. Doesn't matter. I like what I'm doing. So people say, meditation doesn't lead to awakening, yoga doesn't lead to awakening. Yoga leads to yoga, meditation leads to meditation. That's enough for me. The awakening experience I had was an awakening experience that I had. One awakening experience that I had. But it's all awakening. I forget who it was. Actually, it was and I just read it the other day. Allowing all of nature to be your teacher. There's your awakening. Get up at dawn. Get up before dawn. Get outside. Immerse yourself in nature. Watch the sun come up, and there's your awakening. Your body will awaken at the same time, your mind at the same time, your soul at the same time, whatever. But when I did the pointing exercise, that was it. Nothing else seemed to matter. Everything that I did from that point on was happening within that realm of capacity that I am. Once you see it, what more do you need to do? You just keep visiting. You just keep pointing. Every time you wander, and allow yourself to wander away. Who cares? You don't really go anywhere. You are anchored in the here. You're anchored in the now. You are anchored as capacity. You're never going anywhere. Right there. Just point. And you see again and again and again and again. Does it one day stick forever? I don't know. Who cares? Just keep pointing. And then everything falls into place. You meditate, you do yoga. There's no striving to get anywhere, there's no sense of achievement. You're just doing it because for the sheer enjoyment of doing it, for that sheer feeling of when you reach that immaterial. I'm making spooky, there it goes. I'm making spooky fingers as I say that. Immaterial. So that's why I do yoga. Benefits and results, and there's so many added bonuses. I'm really happy that I get them, but maybe there's other ways I could practice qigong. I do practice qigong, but not in the same way I practice yoga. Like I do my qigong wall squat every day, not only for my back health, but it really feels to open up these deep energy channels along the spine. And I feel it. I feel my body enliven as I do those wall squats. And from time to time, I do some other Tai Chi and Qigong movements that I've learned through the years. But again, it's not the same as when I do yoga, which is, for whatever reason, and has been for much of my life, just a commitment. Even times I've shortly wandered away from it, I come back. And it's never been for long. And I've never wandered from meditation at all, not even for a day. It is the basis of my life. And I don't mean that in, a sort of guru devotion type thing. It's the basis of my life because I just enjoy it so much. Pretty simple. My life is pretty simple. I don't have ulterior motives to the things that I do. I just do. I don't have ulterior motives to come in here for conversations. I just click on the button and talk about whatever. Yoga, meditation, breath work, a little bit of philosophy, if I can remember the correct philosopher's name. Topical things, diet. Yesterday, with my friend, It Is What It Is, Lewis, I talked about football, which is amazing because I don't watch football. But certain key players that I like, and I was really happy to find myself in that conversation. It was just fun. And the reason why I like these athletes. We actually covered football, boxing, tennis, I think a little bit of golf. So that's the main reason I'm here talking, for whatever. It's no different than my writing. I sit, I wait for words to appear, things for me to say, and I say them. If I have a friend popping in to say hi in the chat and they ask questions, that just makes it all the better. It means I have a visitor. It means I have a friend and I get to engage with them a little bit. But right now, I don't have anyone, and the conversation is much the same. I find myself talking without a single main topic to talk about. I might come here with one in mind. I've been thinking of karma yoga for the past several days. I mentioned that yesterday. I mentioned it this morning in my talk. But I don't come here specifically to talk about karma yoga unless it comes up. And then I get to talk about it. And since it just came up, I get to talk about it. I liken it to why we do burpees, because we are karma yogis. Karma meaning motion. Doesn't get better motion than doing burpees. It's all the motion you need for a day. do 206 counts, do 100 Navy SEALs. Now, to practice karma yoga, there we're practicing karma. To practice karma yoga means that we are relinquishing, sorry, because it came out so well. But if I try to say it again, it wouldn't come out so well. So we're going to celebrate the fact that I said that once and not try it again. I might try it again later, but we'll see. Letting go, easier way of saying it, of the results. And that's been a big practice of mine lately, because we get hung up on results. I get hung up on results. I want 256 counts. I won 120 Navy SEALs. But lately, I don't care if I get them. If you really dive in what you want, I want a good workout. I want the results of fitness. I want the results of that workout. Do you get better results at 236 than you would with 235? Not really. So why bother with that? I don't try any harder to hit a number than if I don't think of a number. In fact, I might go even harder if I'm not thinking of a number, because then it's all about the motion, diving right in. That's karma yoga. I'm surrendering the results to life, whomever. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna urges Arjuna in his lesson on karma yoga to do the action, knowing that there is no doer, there's no ultimate doer, there's just the action, and leave the results, dedicate the results. Be devoted just to the action and dedicate the results to God, to Krishna himself. The Tao says the same thing. There is no doer. There's just the action. There's no actor, just the action. If there's no doer, it's just motion. Who's counting? Just me. Just the mind. Just the personality. Just the ego. None of that is said in a bad way. I'm not using ego as in self-importance. I'm using ego as the identification of mind and body. It's all the ego is. Of course, the ego can puff itself up with self-importance. Regardless, it is still just an identification with the mind and body. No matter how much self-possession or self-belief it might have, doesn't matter. Because the real reality is simply the motion, simply the action, karma yoga. So I do my best to approach my sessions with that. From my yoga sessions to my burpee sessions to meditation to whatever, to my walks and to my runs. Same when I used to race in ultras. Just do it, and not just do it, but just realize there's no doer. Just be the doing itself. It is a much more relaxing, and yet it can be just as intense. My burpee sessions are no less intense now than if I strive for numbers. And again, maybe more so, because I'm just going all in. I'm not so much worried about the number. Doesn't mean I don't celebrate if I get a PR. Doesn't mean that I'm not elated when I hit that high number, because I certainly am. And we have every reason to celebrate whatever we celebrate in life. And we should. And we should celebrate all of it. The highs and the lows, because that means we're alive and we're experiencing as far as I know, that certainly beats not experiencing. I think. I don't know. How would I know? If I'm not experiencing, I have no experience to judge that upon. It's the same meditating when we fall into the gap. You don't know you're in the gap because the gap is a realm of no experience. You don't experience the gap, you are the gap. So there's no comparison. There just is. And then you come out of it and you go, oh, I was in the gap. And then, of course, you immediately want to jump back in, but you can't because it's not you that was in there. It was just you. Probably makes little sense. But you get it as soon as you meditate. 1 or 2 sessions, you get it. Maybe even 1 session. So, I came here to talk for a bit, and I did. I'm probably going to cut things short for the day. I got my next meditation session. I got some breath work to do. And I'm doing some research on a class that I might be taking. So, a few things ahead of me. If anyone checks this out later, I appreciate it. I will see you guys tomorrow. All right? Take care.